Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the review. This time is the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Double HeatMetal Renewal. You know this on the renewal line, the real bone sculpture. So, let's get started. This is a miraculous piece. If you have been getting any of the Kamen Rider Double stuff, this one is a must-have as one of the forms that are definitive to Double. Whereas one is Cyclone Joker, the other being Lunar Trigger, this one being HeatMetal, and the last one being Fang Joker that we've gotten in terms of the renewals. And I gotta say, it's dope. The paint job is immaculate. The articulation is already there because it uses the same base body. So it's just a matter of items that you get and pretty much how cool they are. And it's just absolutely dope. I'm not sure if you can see or how... There we go. You can just see how spectacular this is. It's very close to suit design. Obviously, it's not full-blown suit design, but it's really, really good. And I'm loving it. Now, as far as articulation goes, it's very simple and the same as the other doubles. You can look up very, very far, like really far back, as you can see here. You can look down. You can tilt left and right. You have basic full roam and, popped it off. You have a full room of articulation, which is really good. And it's just all there. It's very light and easy to move. The metal shaft actually comes out very easily in the back. It's poked in by a plug. So actually you just plug that in and voila, it's there. But I'm going to remove that very quickly. Now, as far as arm articulation goes, you can go pretty far up. The shoulders don't get in the way. As you can see, they folded up very easily. And they're attached to the arms and not to the actual shoulder point that is connected on the shoulder here. There's bicep swivel as well. Arms are indeed double jointed. Very, very good. I think my only gripe being is that paint rubs here, if you press them up too long against each other, right under the armor, the under armor here in the armpit. So you have to be a little careful because the silver and red metal don't do too well when being up against that for too long. The chest plates move, the chest plates move just enough with the figure to allow it an extra bit of range. So that way you don't get too much paint rub here in the chest area. But you do get a really nice bit of forward ab crunch. And this is where you have to be careful because your paint will press. So you can actually go really far forward. Let's move the legs forward. As you can see here, you have really good ab crunch. You actually can go really far back too. But as you can see here, you start to get to lines about where your figure is. So you have to be very, very careful with your paint because it will rub. I think that's the only drawback to having this figure is that too much posing, at least in the ab crunch area, will cause your paint to definitely chip. So if you have someone to touch it up, I definitely recommend. The legs go really far forward. Legs are double jointed indeed. You have a very nice ankle pivot and toe pivot as well. And the leg goes forward and backwards. So it's really good. Now, in terms of look of what you're getting and how he looks, I'm pretty sure you can see here from the easy bit of posing that I do, you can actually get really good posing out of this. So let's fix that focus first. But as you can see here, it's really, really good and really easy. The double driver actually moves along the waist very easily as well. And it opens and closes very easy as well. So you don't have too much of an issue. At least I wouldn't have too much of an issue in terms of articulation. It's very easy. The look is spectacular. Articulation, spectacular. So it's one of those things where if you love double and you love all the forms, this one is definitely one of those must-have. So, real quick, let's gonna get into accessories. And the first thing I'm gonna get into is actually the Gaia memories. One of the Gaia memories I'm gonna start with is actually Heat, which is really tiny and really, really red. The detail is there on it. Voila. The next one being Metal. And they fit into the driver very easily. Just tuck it back. And then, actually not as easy as I thought, but it's in there. And voila. And as you can see here, my paint already started to chip. So that sucks. But I went a little too hard already. But yeah, it's bound to happen. I'm going to leave the metal one in. And the reason why that is because I want to show you something with the metal shaft. So, as far as accessories go, the metal shaft is one of the main weapons that you use here for Kamen Rider Double. Now, this is the shaft in its extended version, and the reason why it is because you actually attach the extending pieces to the sides to show it fully extended in the range that it can get, which is really cool. This is it in its unextended form. So here's the difference. So as you can see here, difference-wise, there's a huge size difference. So you can actually get a ton of range when fighting enemies with this. And the one thing I wanted to point out is that with the Gaia memory, just like in the show, you can actually insert the Gaia memory right here. So you can actually do that. And that's a really cool gimmick to have, especially when you didn't think you would. Next up, what you can actually do is you can also attach the gimmick phone, which is the Kabuto phone here. And it turns into a little Kabuto here, which you is going to attach at the end of the metal shaft here on this side. So you can actually attach that as well. I'm sorry, I attached it the wrong way. I should turn it around. So voila. So you actually can get a ton of huge gimmicks out of this show, out of this, which is really dope. This one does not attach to the back. This is the extended version. This one does. Next up, let's go over the hands. You actually get dedicated hands for holding the metal shaft. These ones are wider. So these ones can hold the staff in hand, whether it's the folded one or not. It allows you to hold it either here in the middle, which is just fine, or actually hold it at one of the opposite ends. Again, so you have the range to hold it, which is very easy. There's 2 dedicated hands for that. You see the closed fist there. Then you get 2 relaxed palms. Next up, you get count up your sins hands, which mine's came a little bit, how'd you say, a little bit warped, actually. So, actually, these are not the count up your sin hands, sorry. These are the, I'm so sorry. These are actually the 2 pointing out hands, which you can use for tons of other stuff, when catchphrases or wind quotes, depending on if you played Batroc War or not. These are dedicated hands for riding the hardboiler. That is his signature bike, which is black and green. So if you want to use that, these are actually dedicated hands for holding it. These are more hands, and these ones are a little bit more wider open for holding the metal shaft as well. These ones are tighter, so if you want to hold other weapons or the metal shaft, these are for that. Now these are the count up your sins hands. So sorry about that earlier. I was too busy thinking about how my fingers got warped, so it threw me off for a loop. And last but not least, you get 2 dedicated hands for holding Gaia memories in the hand for when you want to. I actually should have used the silver one, so let me swap so you can see the color difference. So when you want to do some really cool stuff, like swap to something different, you can actually do it because the hand actually holds it really well. No fear of actually dropping it if it's in the hand properly. Now, in terms of accessories and items in hand, you actually get so many hands, you should come prepared to do a lot of stuff scene-wise with it, which is really dope and really cool. It is a web shop, unfortunately, for those who don't like web shop or have trouble getting it, so it's going to be a problem. But all in all, I think it's really dope that we finally have a renewal for it. And the reason why that is because when you look at him compared to his 1.0, I mean, we settled for what we had at the time, but this is obviously much, much, much better than its original counterpart, which is crazy. This looks completely different as time went on. Real quick, though, I do want to point out, if you do have the originals, the bonus that came from that is that if you have the set, which is Heat Joker and Heat Trigger, they come with 2 effect parts, which are these. This actually fits just fine on the hand, so you can use this as a heat move. And you get this bonus one. So this actually works just fine with HeatMetal as well. He can hold it just fine in his hands. So this is actually really cool if you want to use this as an effect part going forward. It comes with the Heat Joker and Heat Trigger set. It works just fine with the new toy as well. So keep that in mind. Now, real quick, we're going to jump into size comparisons. And let's get started. Let's get them just looking cool for you guys. First and foremost, let's start him up next to a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And he seems to be a really good size with the Marvel Legends Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. He's only a little bit smaller, not crazy big or crazy small. Just happens to be a little bit smaller. Here he is next to another SHF Kamen Rider, This one is Shin Zangetsu. And this one is not a renewal. It is from the Gain line. So now you know what it looks like next to that. So it works in scale with other SHF. Next up, we're going to do, let's do SHF Captain America. Because size-wise, you can see the cap is actually significantly bigger. Right? Next up, if you have the old Nazca, the red one, because at some point they do become rivals, here is a quick size comparison. So, they actually look, ooh, that's a really good size. But I hope they redo Nazca. Here he is next to an Articulated Icons Ninja. And a 1000 toy synthetic human, which happen to work really well with Japanese scale. Next up, we have a Mythic Legions Orc. And we have a Mezco Kit Bash Cable on a Punisher body. So voila. All in all, we know the SHF is a lot smaller, but we use it to scale with the American stuff because a lot of people want to mix and match their stuff. Create your own little toy universe. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. But most of all, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water, guys. Later.